Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Magic Arena Run. Today we're going to be doing a quick jaunt into Midnight Hunt Constructed. I kind of wish they did this constructed event when Crimson Vow comes out, so that we have both Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow. We kind of have like a Innistrad mini block. But we are going to have one shot at this one right now. So typically I don't really like this. I like that the event is cheap. But I typically don't like it in the sense that it usually encourages people to sink a ton of rares and mythics all the way, and you're sinking it for a format that that's only relevant for a while, and you might not end up needing a lot of the cards, so it is a bit of a sink. But in the event that you do want to join up for one of these, I have a theory, so I'm going with something that's really cheap, really fast. So the theory is that we actually have quite a good number of burn spells here. So I don't know how viable control is, but but let's see. Let's get our list out of the way. We have 4 copies of Play with Fire, 4 copies of Sacred Fire, 4 copies of Cathartic Pyre, and 4 copies of Moonrager Slash. So this is like 16 burn spells. Now let's skip the Cathartic Pyre because that only hits creatures or planeswalkers. So how many points of damage is this? This is a total of 8. Another 8, 16. This is 16, 12. So this is like 28 points of damage, and I'm not even counting the flashback yet. So there is quite a lot of damage that you could send up towards the opponent. And if we need additional help, we actually have copies of Turmo Alchemist. We originally got them in Jumpstart, but hey, guess what? We're getting them again in... Actually, we're getting them again in Innistrad, so we'll make the most out of it. In addition to that, we are running 4 copies of Flame Channeler. It's not quite... It's not quite Runaway Steamkin. It doesn't grow that big. It doesn't fill up your mana, but it does have the potential. It does have the potential to draw you cards, and depending on the situation, you can even stack up the flame counters for the most part. Like you can just sink them when you actually have the ability to cast something. You don't have to spend it right away. And for the few mythics, we have 2 copies of Bloodthirsty Adversary, because who doesn't want to double up on a Play with Fire Moonrager Slash, and 2 copies of Sunstreak Phoenix. This one primarily to get an initial start on the day-night, because not everyone's going to be playing werewolves. We're also running 2 copies of Smoldering Egg as another win con to benefit from all the spells that we're casting. Now, in addition, we're running like 2 copies of Sunset Revelry just as an extra bit. I only have 1 copy of Fateful Absence. I probably would run more if I had. I'm running a single Brutal Cathar because it's kind of on theme. Also, single copy of Rem Calorus. I'm not willing to invest more wildcards on this. And a few copies of Seize the Storm. This also gives us an additional late game factor. Other than that, it's pretty simple. 22 lands. Huge spike on the 2 and 3 mana count. So we'll see how reasonably well we do with this. And we'll see how many werewolf decks we... I'm pretty sure we're pretty much encountering werewolves, some zombie spirits. Those are the main ones that we're going to be running into. What's the other? Vampires is also possible. It's also pretty much we're running into all of those. Humans is a little bit less so, but it's still there. We are definitely going to keep this one. We got access to 2 colors. We're basically going to run out the mountain on this immediately because we don't need anything double white. So if our opponent doesn't run anything immediately, it's pretty much just an early Flame Channeler. Flame Channeler into Slash or Sacred Fire based on what we need. Also, if our opponent decides to do an Infernal Grasp on this, sure, more power to you, I suppose. And as soon as a spell I control deals damage, this transforms. I so want to hold up the smoldering egg, but we can kind of wait. And there we go, instant 3 points of damage. Now this is not protectively safe. Opponent could have a cathartic pyre or other stuff. Opponent goes arrogant outlaw. So this time we hit the other sacred fire. And if this survives next turn, we can just cash this in for another card. Opponent goes famished foragers. So oh, you have to spend 1 mana to cash it in, so it's possible that we might whiff. Yeah, I'm gonna do it anyway. This is no, you can play. So if it's a land, we can play it. That's fine. And don't like having to spend the hard. Now, technically, we can just we can spend the last 2 points and hit here, but I'm not in a hurry for that. Opponent. Also, because we have a Sunset Revelry that we can kind of save for that one. Let's see what our opponent's follow-up is. Vampire Interloper. Let's see what the other follow-up is. Vampire Socialite. So opponent's on the Mass Vampires deck, but yeah, we don't get the full flip quite yet. No, I can choose to Cathartic Pyre the... Actually, let's just spend 1 now. Opponent's conceding before... Yeah, basically, we managed to burn out the vampires, so that's pretty good. And actually, we never burnt our opponent. We just simply kept swinging with the vanilla tree. Practically, it's a vanilla tree. So far so good. That one's a good start. It also kind of highlights that the werewolves and to some extent the humans are the beefier colors in terms of power toughness. Zombies not so beefy, but they have the numbers. Spirits not so beefy, but they generally have the 2 for 1 value. So we're definitely keeping this. Our opponent gets to go first. We're gonna probably go Thermo Alchemist first. Everyone seems to be going vampires. Now, I'm tempted to just play out the Thermo Alchemist, because let's see, as long as an opponent lost life this turn, each other creature enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 count. Oh, okay, so here's the problem. I cannot let this live because there's a chance our opponent just starts dropping bigger vampires, so I'm gonna actually have to snipe this now. So it's a little bit off curve. It also doesn't help that yeah, well, that one is fine. That one less so, but I'm probably gonna play the Thermo Alchemist first. It's the one I don't mind. I don't mind it dying. This, so Cathartic Pyre. Okay, sure. Yeah. Now the Smoldering Egg would have survived, but that's fine. So we're gonna take 1, which is not too big a deal. Okay, so we got the double Moonrager Slash. Unfortunately, unless your opponent's playing werewolves, you kind of want a way to start the night-day cycle. It's probably a good argument for. It's probably a good argument for having. Okay, opponent's going for it. Yeah, we'll kind of burn. Yeah, we'll kind of burn this now, but I don't really like to, because it just gives our opponent another card. But you know what? Our opponent is is also willing to off themselves a little bit, so we'll kind of go for that. We just need, but we do need to draw a follow up. An argument could have been made that our opponent probably would have played another Vampire Socialite, so I probably should have held on to that. So we have the Flame Channeler here. So let's see if our opponent has a burn spell for this one. If it's just a play with fire, we can respond with Moonrager Slash, so we're good. If it's anything else, I could kind of ignore it. Also, there's some discussion that Moonveil Regent, so whenever you cast a spell... Oh, this one's a super feel bad. I don't like spending 2 cards just for our opponent to dome us with this one. And yeah, because they have no other permanents. So our opponent could have another Moonveil Regent, in which case I need to draw up. Opponent goes Bloodthirsty Adversary, probably buys back the Infernal Grasp. So I take 3, but the good thing is our opponent's taking another 2. But that was a lot of burn spells. So we're gonna pass for now. The concern is if our opponent has any more gas than this, because we only have so many creatures right now. We have our own Bloodthirsty Adversary, which would be fine. So I'm probably gonna just play with fire because we need to secure our next draw. Seize the Storm is fine. Also, that means that there you go. And if we draw another land, we should get another shot at this. Opponent is using up Infernal Grasp, so that's their... Well, technically that's their 3rd cast. It's their 2nd copy. So we're actually going down to 8. So at least the Seize the Storm means that it's not too bad for us. We're gonna hold the Play with Fire. Yeah, Play with Fire is probably the weakest card in this list here. Opponent goes play, sure. Because they get the Scry first, so and they get the benefit off it, so nothing I can do if our opponent happens to have another burn spell. The red-black is primarily for the Vampire synergy. Also, this doesn't have Menace, which is the good news. Opponent is also I need to decide if I want to cast another Seize the Storm or draw into something else. I'm actually gonna just draw this one. If they have another Infernal, it's over. Bloodthirsty Adversary, yeah, they got it. Opponent we do have 2 copies of our own Bloodthirsty Adversary. I just didn't invest fully into it. If you're really more serious about this event, sure, go for 4 copies. It's really good. But I'm not too much a fan of going too much into it. We'll see how many games we can get out of this. I might be even willing to make some adjustments, then go for another one. It's only like a 500 gold investment per run, so it's not too shabby. Also, we drew a huge stack of lands there, so... But we are technically running 22 lands. I'm very nervous about cutting anymore. Opponent going for the mulligan. So we're gonna lead off on an Evolving Wilds. Also, you notice that we didn't draw any of our white cards, but it didn't really matter too much, so we're kind of fine in that one regard. So we're gonna go Plains. With this setup, we're gonna go Turmo Alchemist first. Then we'll probably do Flame Channeler, play with fire, depending on what our opponent's follow-up is. No, they're just gonna Cathartic Pirate now, which is fine. I think our opponent might be playing the same thing, though. If they have a second Cathartic Pirate, it'd be annoying. Sunrise Cavalier, Trample Haste. We'll take it for now, because we get to kill it next turn. And okay, we're definitely keeping this one because we want to cast Sunstreak Phoenix eventually. That said, if our opponent has any more of these Sunrise Cavaliers, it's a problem. Borrow time. Yeah, we'll let it go. I did consider putting a few of them, but not too great. I kind of want to just hold on the Sunstreak. I kind of want to hold the Play with Fire for now. There's no reason to actually burn it quite yet. So note that there is no haste, so it has to kind of survive for a while. It's bad if our opponent has another. Okay, so flying haste. At least we have a brutal Qatar. The singleton brutal Qatar is gonna kind of carry it through, more or less. Now it's still unlikely that it's gonna flip quite yet. Also, I need to remember it technically affects spells. So as long as Rem Caloris is out, burn is kind of bad. So opponent probably pays. If they don't pay, I would be more concerned. Yeah, they have follow-up. Sunset Revelry. Sure. We have our own Rem, which we can swing in, get extra burn. I kind of want to flip this though, just to give it extra protection. Also, there's no need to cast Rem quite right away. So we're gonna get the Moonrage Brute out. Now the side effect is that if our opponent manages to deal with this, I will have to cast 2 spells, and I will not have the mana to. Well, it's borrowed time anyway. If our opponent goes for this, they will end. Oh, they're going for the Sunstreak Phoenix. That makes sense. Yeah, we're gonna keep holding the Play with Fire. Yeah, borrowed time is also another consideration. I did not put it because I wasn't too sure what to expect. Okay, so we're definitely not swinging on the ground anymore. And what's his power and toughness is equal to the number of creatures you control. Okay, perfect. We'll do that. Sunrise Cavalier. So this becomes a 5/4 with Vigilance. I could sniping the we'll see how our opponent goes. Oh, they're going for extra damage. So definitely blocking this one. Let's see if our opponent has a combat trick for this. Then 6/5/4. Oh, this has lifelink. I'll need to remember that. So you can go Thermo Alchemist, but we'll kind of wait on that. Because I want to be able to... Another Sunrise Cavalier. This time, this is the one I'm going to keep alive. We're going to block Intrepid Adversary. Ritual of Hope. So that makes this a 4-2, but I... Ooh, hold on. So this is a problem. 7... So 10... I definitely need to snipe one of these. 2, 4, 6, 8... Plus 8 is 16. Yeah, we... Yeah, that kind of domed us. Ooh! Got wrecked near the end. Adeline is a problem here. So we're gonna make a few changes to make a few adjustments here on this one. So we kind of had a good plan, but it kind of got burned a bit. Kind of got burned out a bit too early. We kind of let the tokens run wild. So something to keep in mind. Got ourselves another Cathartic Pyre. So we're gonna make a few changes before we try again. Also, let's yeah, we'll save that for later. So first off, basically we learned from our mistakes. We definitely need something that burns for 4 or more. Borrowed Time is a good solution, but let's see if there are other ones. Ardent Elementalist to get back spells is fine. I figured that we might not have necessarily needed it. There's Light Up the Night is also a good one. It's just that I'm not too keen on spending. I probably should spend the rare for this. At least we'll get at least one copy of this. I'm probably less likely to run the Falcon Rat Pit Fighter at this point. Thank goodness I didn't have to craft that one. But we probably should add some Borrowed Times as well. The Sunset Revelry probably can go. It's kind of like buying time, but it's not exactly what we need. We need to be the one beating face. Intrepid Adversary is nice, but it fits that opponent's deck a lot better compared to ours. So where's the Borrowed Time? Yeah, we definitely want Borrowed Time here. So does this it doesn't hurt our curve that much. So we'll go for it a bit. And with that in mind, we're gonna go again. As in, why not? So some quick adjustments to the deck list. Always try to learn as much as possible from other people's decks. So let's see. The Sunset Revelry would have helped us somewhat. Then let's see. We cut the single Pit Fighter for... What's the name of that spell? Oh dear. It's something like... It's not Light Up the Stage. That's the one I remember. It's like... Light Up the Fire MTG. Yep. Light Up the Night. Okay, there we go. So... not that many spells. We got a pair of Smoldering Eggs, but not much to do with it. We will keep this anyway, though. Opponent's greeting us, so... We'll return the greeting back. Yeah. See, now there's the proper hello. Opponent's going mono black. Oh, it's just... So it's probably control. Nope, tainted adversary. So we're... Yeah, we need one of our larger burn spells now. Yeah. This is... I guess my complaint would be, if this is a format where all I see are mythics, it's gonna get stale really fast. But then again, that might be the actual purpose of this kind of formats. Like, oh, just dump all your mythics. So, if you're not the kind of person that's interested in doing that, maybe this might not be the event for you. We can at least borrow some time, depending on what our opponent's follow-up is. Opponent is stuck on 2 lands for now, so let's try to take advantage of that. Okay, opponent is stuck, so you know what, we're gonna actually just fire off a little, buy some life back. Let's get the other planes just in case. Not that we particularly need to. It is tempting to play the other smoldering egg, but I'm gonna play the borrowed time for now. Just nuke the tainted adversary because it looks like our opponent is really stuck. If they catch up back again, then good for them. We do have the second borrowed time in case we need it. Opponent is actually playing white-black. So I get to run the second smoldering egg and either borrowed time or sacred fire as needed. Also, amount of mana spent to cast that spell, so the flashback is actually going to be very important here. Opponent's probably going to kill the smoldering. Well, and give us a clue token. I'll take that. Thank you. So we actually will have options between cracking the clue token and just firing off a burn spell. If our opponent's just playing mass removal, then the tainted adversary was slightly awkward. Fateful Absence. Okay, looks like they are playing mass removal. At least we get to draw some cards out of this. We'll see what their follow-up is. If it's another tainted adversary, you can just Moonrage or slash that. They definitely have something. So this is the test of whether we actually can just keep throw burn to the face and win the game that way. Opponent is taking their time thinking though. So yeah, we're just gonna crack a clue. Nothing too serious. Okay, there's a Light of the Night. We also have the Bloodthirsty Adversary, but what are you getting back? Sacred Fire. And it exiles it, so not the best use. So actually, the best use here is to pass. Wait for our opponent to do something, because I know white-black does not have any any planeswalkers for me to quite worry about. It's probably going to be a big creature. Enduring Angel. So something to keep in mind. So maybe hold on to that Bloodthirsty Adversary for the time being. So we actually have options, but I'm going to just cast Turmoil Alchemist and just cast Remcoloros Stalwart Slayer. Let's give our opponent something to do with their spells. Now their spells don't deal damage, so not quite relevant. Opponent goes for Sunset Revelry. But yeah, as long as we know our opponent's running Enduring Angels, Mask of Gristlebrand. And I'm gonna swing with Remcoloros to encourage our opponent to Equip, it's like 3 mana to equip, so our opponent can actually equip twice. If they're up for that. And I don't mind if they end up doing that. Because we would blank one of their equips, then force them to equip again. They can pay 1 life to draw. Also, let's ping our opponent first. Which one are you? Which one's this targeting? That one. Okay. So if our opponent really wants to get in for that lifelink, go ahead. Opponent goes Sunset Revelry. They're gassing up. Oh, they probably also want to kill either the Embodiment or Rem Calorus. So now we have multiple bloodthirsty adversaries, and we're missing, and because we have that and we're missing 1 mana. Also, is this cast? Yeah, you may cast. So we are gonna go nuke one of the tokens. Primarily because I'm planning on swinging with everyone. No. Opponent probably has a rat effect. We will just Turmo Alchemist for the extra point of damage and keep holding stuff up. Borrow time. Let's see who they borrow time from. The Bloodthirsty Technically, it should be the Embodiment of Flame. The Bloodthirsty Adversary already did its thing, and it's the same stats as some embodiments, so that's a weird one. Now this transforms into a tree too, so that's something to consider. We could just borrow it instead. So we hit our 6 mana. We already played the land. I probably should not have played it for immediately. Like, I can cast Light Up the Night just for 1 point of damage, but that's... Yeah, we're just gonna swing with Rem. Because I could swing with Embodiment. Let's see how our opponent does it, because we can just borrow time instead. Yeah, we can just borrow time, negate the effect of the so our opponent gets to flip it, but whoopie-doo. Yeah, though it was kind of a mistake. I should not have played that land immediately. I should have cracked Embodiment of Flame first, see what I would have gotten off the top. Made an informed decision that way. Opponent goes Ambitious Farmhand. I don't think they need a base. They are going to equip though. And this is when the equipped creature dies. Okay. Opponent goes Kathar's Call. And this is at what? At the beginning of your end step, so our opponent will get 1 token. What I could do the Embodiment of Flame and hope to hit a cheap spell, but we'll let them have their token. Yeah, we would have ended up with the land anyway, so that's better. I want to see how this informs their block. And it's a Coven ability. So since I'm gonna lose this anyway, I might as well just cast this now. I could just cast it on our opponent and just... yeah, we'll do that. Oh, then that's it. We can just win that way. I was thinking of doing something clever, but never mind. There we go. We got the damage through. That's first win of the second run. We'll see if we can do better than the first one. The first one, that one felt unfortunate near the end, but credit where credit's due. That was a good construction build from our opponent. It's more white weenie than burn. It probably does fine, especially big if you consider that not many cards can answer Adeline. At least not in the form of a burn spell. Black can answer it in the form of a removal. Blue can answer it by bouncing. It's a bit awkward. Green could answer it with the right support. So opponent goes first. I probably want to run the Thermo Alchemist ASAP. Like, if I don't have to Sacred... yeah, if I don't have to Sacred Fire, I won't Sacred Fire. Likewise, the same for Cathartic Pyre. Opponent goes Kessig Naturalist. So, I kind of want to save the Cathartic. Now, we have to burn this now because if it flips into Night, it makes it a 3/3. It's a little bit more awkward. Also, it makes the other werewolves, in particular Tovolar, very hard out of reach. So this one is now that is a problem. I don't exactly have outs for a 1/4. The Sunstreak Phoenix might help. Now drawing all those Evolving Wilds is an issue as well. So if I don't want to cast it immediately, I will just play the second Thermo Alchemist. If our opponent swings, I'm just going to take the hit. Now, our opponent might have a card that deals off damage, but what I don't want to have is this be affected by a pump effect. That would be more annoying. So it does flip. It does make our Moonrager slash live though. We are about to flip it. Yeah, I don't like using this many burn spells, but We lose our 1 Thermal Alchemist, but we get to fire off for the most part. And let that be solved. So now we're hoping the Sunstreak Phoenix can get the rest of the way. And that was like what? Yeah, it flipping to Knight was actually the beneficial part for us. Arlen goes for Pack Hunter. Pack's Hope. Now this only hits opponents, so no dice.
Fight for humans and werewolves
until your next turn. So opponent's just going for the +1. If we have a borrowed time, that would be neat. Instead we hit Cathartic Pyre. I do have to cast the Sunstreak Phoenix though, just to prevent it from flipping. Because the last thing I want is 5/5 werewolf creature, trample, indestructible, etc, etc. Opponent probably planning to catch us unawares with the Sunstreak Phoenix, so we do want to hold the 2 Cathartic Pyres. Also note that we can kind of wait. Oh yeah, it flipped anyway. Opponent goes for Play with Fire. I will need to flip. I will need to cast 2 spells to get it to flip. But I will run out. And it gets it back, but that's a real feel bad. You know what? We'll let it slide. It's also possible our opponent just goes and swings with Arlen. Tovalar. Hold on, that enters as a 4/4 if I'm not mistaken. No, 5/5. Okay, it's my turn. So I'm actually the one incentivized to make it flip. Yeah, just apologies for that. Now we can hold it. Then we can buy back the Sunstreak Phoenix. Yeah, that was barely surviving the Tovalar. Opponent goes Hound Tamer into a Kessig Naturalist. So yeah, we'll tap. Opponent could have activated first, so it looks like they're planning to just make. Yeah, they're just planning to make wolves. They're gonna go wide. So hold on, 6. Wait. Yeah, opponent should know that this game he has no blockers anymore. And yeah, no need to faff around. There we go. We managed to get Xaxes. Opponent, I actually believe Bird Tamer is probably it is correct to have a Bird Tamer. I'm expecting quite a bit of white blue. We just haven't run into one yet. It just so happened that we had the right amount of removal here. So 2 wins, not getting better. We kind of need one. Okay, this is a bit annoying. On 1 more win, it's 450 gold. We spent 500. Yeah, they're not giving you your money. They're not letting you break even in terms of gold that easily. But that was a good matchup for us. Also, I do need to check the time. I am supposed to record something for someone. Okay, now here's an interesting one. Based on the situation, that will determine whether we lead on Thermal Alchemist or Flame Channeler. Let's see what their follow-up card is. We're gonna need more cards, so I'm saying Flame Channeler. Thermo Alchemist is fine, but it doesn't dissuade our opponent, so we're actually gonna go Flame Channeler first. Probably not gonna block. We definitely want to cast a burn spell next turn. Opponent goes join the dance. Oh, they're really going all in on the life gain. At least it's not all in on the Coven, which is good news. So we hit the Cathartic Pyre. Which I am gonna save. Now this does give us the option to swing with this guy, make our opponent trade for it with everything. Which I'm fine with. It with one creature it basically wipes out your board equity for the most part. Our annoyance now would just be the Luminous Phantoms. Yeah, they're gonna go for card advantage with the Phantoms. This is where we have some issues. We will do the Thermo Alchemist now. So, Fateful Absence if we need to. I would not be surprised if this is just a pure token build, which is actually a good way to go. Gavany Dawn Guard, so it's Ward 1. So we can Cathartic Pyre and yeah, we're not running Fateful Absence now. Yeah, and we could Borrowed Time. We could cast Borrowed Time. It costs the same thing. Hold on. Yeah, let's take out that engine, but we are probably in trouble until we can clear the board. At least of the flyers, that's the priority here. Also unlikely that our opponent's gonna let it flip and give us a free shot with the Moonrager Slash. Borrowed Time on these Phantoms is a real feel bad. I guess that was an argument. Sigarda, okay, that's a... No, that is a good Borrowed Time target. Death Bonnet Sprout. Okay, now this is the interest. Oh, because it just keeps growing bigger. Okay. Let's pass the blockers. Also, stuck on 4 mana, not ideal. Let's take it though. Yeah, we're in real trouble. Only saving grace is that our opponent is gas out. Now, technically, what we could have done is Fateful Absence, but with our opponent running short on cards, except for the... Ooh, that's a good one. So the check is oh, they have 2 creature cards in the graveyard, so we will eventually need to snipe the Death Bonnet Sprout. Join the dance. Yeah, unfortunately we're taking another 4. So it's a little bit iffy for us here. So then if there are 3 or more creature cards... Then at the beginning of your upkeep... Yeah, we'll let him mill 1 more card. Actually, stop on our opponent's upkeep. Let it flip first. Snipe the Death Bonnet Sprout. So they still have to mill a card. No, I can turn this off actually. Okay, they milled the land, so that wasn't too great. That they hit another Death Bonnet Sprout. Into another Join the Dance. Yeah, they're gonna go really wide. We're gonna be in real trouble here. The only saving grace is that they're out of cards. One, two, three, four. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I do need to cast a Sacred Fire. Yeah, they're just gaining all the life. Can't really do anything about that. Oh, I forgot to actually trigger this too. You know what? That's fine. We're probably gonna lose this one. Our opponent had a ridiculous. Then Sigarda Splendor whenever you cast a white spell. It's on upkeep. Okay, we'll let that resolve. Yeah, I forgot to take our opponent's life down a little bit. So we have a Light Up the Night, which we can use to... Hold on, so let's do some math. 1, 2... This is still 6 tokens though. Yeah, I'm just letting it out, but I'm pretty sure. Oh wait, no, I'm still kind of alive. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. So remove X loyalty. X can't be 0, so I can't cast that this way, but I do have this one. So yeah, let's just let it go. So I'm gonna wait for their turn. Because I can take out, recast Sigarda Splendor, gain 1 life. Sure, but it's passed. Yeah, not enough. That's good game. Well, yeah, the tokens build was actually pretty good. So, what were we missing there? We were missing early pressure. Now, did us swinging that tree, our Flame Channeler on our opponent, was that a good play? In hindsight, it's hard to say. The 1/1s weren't exactly doing anything. I probably would have gotten off more by through card draw. So. Yeah, we should not have swung with that one. We would have held out better just having to worry about the 2 flyers and just gumming up the board for the most part. We could have lasted a lot longer that way. So, Smoldering Egg into play with fire. But the double Sacred Fire scares me. Like, we need to hit white mana or else we're in real trouble. I'm probably gonna mulligan this. Okay, this is better. The borrowed times. Now the borrowed time is the one that scares me. I might actually just bin the Sunstreak Phoenix though. So turn 2 Thermo Alchemist and probably buy some time with some few Sacred Fires here and there. Opponent will need a Cathartic Pyre to burn out our Thermo Alchemist. Slaughter Specialist. Now we kind of have a plan with this. Now our opponent could still have a response that saves this one, but that means we just launched the borrowed time. Oh, they're just going to defend us straight. Okay. Okay, that's on the way around it. So we probably want to hit another white mana at least. Yeah, let's thin those out. This might be a problem for us though. Opponent. Okay, so we hit Smoldering Egg. I kind of want to play Rem. I kind of want to play Rem so that the Sacred Fire could hit. But I kind of also want to just play the Smoldering Egg and then follow up with Sacred Fire. If our opponent could follow up with the kill spell, though our opponent is demonstrated that they are willing to run the common removal spells, so that is an issue for us. So we actually will take, because our opponent is also likely to have burn, and I want them to use their hard removal instead. The problem is it's also likely that we've helped draw them into their hard removal. I would really like to draw one more. Okay, the Jadar. Oh, Florian's gonna be bigger. So we kind of have to nuke. We kind of have to nuke the Socialite now because it's too late already to save it to nuke Florian. Yeah, we would have had the mana. I probably should have blocked. Never mind what happens to the egg. So I need to decide if I want to swing or if I want to hold back. I probably want to hold back. We kind of want to at least... hitting one more mana is fine. That gives us Sacred Fire. Let's not lose too much life. Also, oh wait, but that's Vampire Socialite. Play with fire, except... oh, no, it works on Rem. I should have blocked with the Smoldering Egg. Ooh, wow, everything's getting really big. And we hit the Evolving Wilds. We're gonna take 5... 6... oh, wow, this is a disaster. Yeah, that was a mistake on us. We probably should have blocked with the Smoldering Egg. That would have been a bit... yeah, we were just too slow. Like, I know we have a playset of Evolving Wilds because we don't exactly have much of a choice, but we really don't want to be drawing a lot of them. Also, our opponent could have flashed this back too. Yeah, so let's do the math. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 13, 14. So we can't block this. We might as well block this. Opponent deciding not to spend, which also makes sense because it's possible our opponent... The problem is we're probably going to die to other stuff. Depending on what our opponent takes out of the... Exiles off the top. Exiles Infernal Grasp. Yeah, that's good game. So not quite perfect. I still like the deck in principle. Sometimes you don't get the right draws, but that's Magic. Also, we did a few misplays there. So that's kind of part and parcel of how it works. Anyway, that is gonna be time for us. So I'm gonna just claim our prize and go. That's gonna be it for this episode, the Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on notifications and whatnot. And as always, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you guys again next time. Take care. God bless. Stay safe wherever you are. Have a great week, everyone. Take care. Nice Ludovic. And there we go.